So today I will explain to you in detail the syllabus and the question pattern, syllabus and question pattern, so that you are not worried. What is needed is you should be feeling at home, feeling comfortable. All of you know that the question pattern and the syllabus both are quite different from that of class 9th and 10th. So that's why some of you have some concern. That concern is healthy, because only if you have certain concern or certain amount of fear, you'll be able to study well. So now, as you know, there are 4 questions. I think that by now all of you are clear. There are 4 questions. In all, there are only 4 questions in English language question paper. In your 10th class, it was 5. Here we have only 4. Of the 4 questions, what are we going to do? If you look at your textbook, some of you may get panicky. There are so many things there. Of course, 15 units are there. What to study? Simple, compound, complex, transformation of sentences, agreement of subject, verb, tenses, that one, this one, and some of the items which you never heard of. Don't worry. So I will explain to you and also tell you how we proceed, so that you understand it and stop worrying. So we have only 3 questions. That is, 4 questions is clear. Question number 1 is composition. Which carries 20 marks. Question number 2, you have A and B. In question number A, it is a direct writing. And this is proposal writing. This carries 15 marks, this 10 marks. Put together, it is a 25. And then you have a third question. That's from grammar. Grammar, structure, usage. So that is a 5 plus 5 plus 5 is equal to 15. Then you have the fourth question, comprehension. That is for 20 marks. That's 80 marks. Then you have project work. Okay, so that's a pattern. This is a question pattern. Composition for 20 marks. Question number 2, direct writing, 15 marks. Proposal writing, 10 marks. Put together, 25 marks. Third one is grammar, structure, and usage. You have 3 items, 5 marks each. 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15 marks. You have comprehension for 20 marks. 80, so altogether 80 marks. And you have 20 marks left. I see one hand up. You ask doubts afterwards. I asked, let me explain things. After you still you have doubt, you can ask that. Thank you. You can put down your hand. Akshit Kumar. Okay. So 80 marks. Then you have 20 marks for a project work. So 80 plus 20, 100 marks. At least, is this clear? Okay. So these are the questions. Now I am coming to the syllabus. This is question pattern. Now I will come to question pattern combined with the syllabus. So how do we proceed? What to study first? What to study next? What to study at the last? Other items we can leave out even without studying. Things like that. So you'll take first. You'll take up a composition. Have you copy down? It's there in your book. In the first page is there. Okay. Right. So if we'll take a first question, composition that you are familiar with. Composition is also called essay. If you say write an essay or write a composition, both are same. This is for 20 marks, you know it. In class 10th also it was for 20 marks. But actually it was, as you know, it was for 25 marks earlier in class 11th and 12th. Now they are reduced to 20 marks because of the project. So though it is for 20 marks, in 9th and 10th it's 20 marks. 10th class also is 12th class, 11th class also 20 marks. 12th also is 20 marks. But is there a difference between ISC, ICSE? 9th and 10th ICSE and 11th and 12th ISC. Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference. You are supposed to write more. Supposed to write more and write with a lot of clarity, and the evaluation process will be stricter in class 11 and 12. So you need to write more. Earlier it was 400 to 450 words. Even in some of the books they give us 400 to 450 because that was original thing. Now, since the mark has been reduced to 20, you need not write 400 to 450, but you have to write 350 to 400 words. 350 to 400 words. This will be last time I will be speaking to you about syllabus and question pattern. Afterwards only teaching, nothing else. So 350 to 400 words. Roughly, let's say 3 pages maximum, minimum 2 pages. Again, depending on your lines, number of lines you use and the number of words you have in a line. According to that, you count. So roughly put, I'm saying it is a 2 to 3 pages. 2 pages at the minimum, maximum 3 pages. So how it will be evaluated, all those things are there, given there. That I will explain too much later. We'll be taking it up. So in this, how many types of essays are there? Normally 5 types of essays, and then there will be a short story. So which are the types of essays? Narrative, descriptive, argumentative, so these are types or kinds of essays. Reflective, factual. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the 5 types of essays. 5 types of essays. So we are supposed to study all these in detail. We are supposed to study these essays in detail, what they are, what is a narrative essay, how to write a narrative essay, what are the points you should remember in writing a narrative essay. You have lessons. So narrative, descriptive, argumentative, reflective, factual, and then you have a short story also. Short story. So you are asked 6 questions. This will be 5 types of essays and one short story. Altogether 6 questions. You have to attempt only one out of 6. So should we study this immediately? What do you say? I feel it is not needed. We will study, surely we will study before your public exam. This is in preparation for your 11th class final exam plus 12th class public exam. So we need to study, but need not be in a hurry. Why? You are somewhat familiar with it. You are somewhat familiar with it because you have written essays or composition in 9th class and 10th class. So let us don't get panicky. Don't get worried too much about question number 1. Question number 1, you need not be worried so much because you have some idea. Out of 20, if you are serious about it, you are good at writing, you are sure to score at least 15. You write well. 15, 16, 17, 18, up to 19 I can give, depending on the quality of the essay. The criterion is given there. I will explain to you when I take up this topic. So clear. So question number 1, we are supposed to deal with these many things. We must study at least, may not be, if it's in the classroom, you could take 1 class each. Even now we may need, let's see, each of the type you have to learn. What is a narrative? What is descriptive composition? How to write things like that. That we will study later. So for the time being, we are not going to touch this one. Okay, we shall go to question number 2. Question number 2, you have A and B. A is direct writing. In this, there are 8 kinds. 8 kinds or 8 types. 8 types are there. What are they? Article writing. Article writing. So you'll be article, you are somewhat familiar, I think. We'll be learning, no problem. Then you have reviews, 3 kinds of reviews. Book review, film review, and you have a cultural program review. So 3 reviews. Then you have 4th one, reporting. So report, write a report. 8 are there. The board will not be seen. So first you write down this one. Afterwards, you have already taken note of article writing. 3 reviews: book review, film review, cultural program review. 4th one is report. Then you have what do you call a personal profile. Speech writing is there. How many are over now? Article writing, book review 1, 2, 3, 4. Report writing 5. Okay. Speech writing. That's a 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This is the sixth. Seventh one is this one, eighth one. Okay. Speech writing. Then you have a personal profile. And the last one is a statement of purpose. Okay. So these are the 8 types or 8 kinds. Article writing, then 3 reviews: book review, film review, cultural program review. Then you have a report writing. Then you have a speech writing, personal profile, and statement of purpose. See, all these things will be studied. Don't worry. So the problem is that this is something new. This is something you need to learn. You did not study them in class 9th and 10th. So our immediate concern is this, question number 2. That's why straight away I went to question number 2B. 2B, you studied a proposal writing. That we already finished. So question number 2, 2 sections. A is report writing. Under that there are 8 headings. Those 8 headings we will have to learn. What are the types, how to write, we will have to learn. It's distributed throughout the book. In your paper 1, English, total English, it is distributed through different units. Different units it's distributed. But we are just putting it together so that you know what you are supposed to study. So in this one, question number 2B, we have completed. Question number A, 2A is there. That is these 8 types we will have to learn. That will be our immediate concern. We will be studying that. Then now question number 3. Question number 3 is short answer questions. Short answer question will be asked to write short answers, small answers. Answer comprising of few words or a sentence, depending on the question. So, short answer questions, in order to check your grammar, structure, and usage. In order to check your English grammar, structure, and usage. In this, there are 3 types are there. 3 types are there. You have A, B, and C. Question number 3A. Question number 3A, you have given 2 sentences. You take your textbook, then you'll understand easily. Open your textbook. Your solved question paper is there. Turn to page number 23. Page number 23. Page 23. Page number 23. Answer sections A, B, and C. A, in each of the following items, sentence A is complete, while sentence B is not. Complete sentence B, making it as similar as possible to sentence A. Write sentence B in each case. So, what are the things asked in this section? That's what I'm going to tell you. In question number 3A, what all things we need to study? Question number 3, section B, what are the items will appear? Question number 3C, what all things should be taken care of? Okay. In question number 3A, you have a simple compound complex. Simple compound complex. Simple, compound, complex sentences. Then you have a transformation of the sentences. Transformation of sentences. Transformation of sentences is last year you studied how to transform positive sentence to negative sentence, affirmative and positive, affirmative or positive or negative sentences. So that you learned last year. That will be there. Along with that, what we are more concerned is simple, compound, complex sentences. How to convert one to another, simple to compound, compound to complex, all three. So that will be one of the major items. Then you have active, passive voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. Then you have directed writing and direct indirect writing. Or it's also called reporter writing, direct and indirect. Direct writing and a direct speech, direct or indirect speech. Yeah. Then you have usages. Usages like adjectives, degrees of comparison, then you have usage of since, for, although, in spite of, okay, I'll explain to you that you may not be able to see on the board, doesn't matter. So these are the main things that will be appearing in question number 3A. Simple, compound, complex sentences and transformation of sentences one to another. Simple, compound, complexes. Then active voice and passive voice, direct speech and indirect speech. Then usages of adjectives, use of adjectives and degrees of comparison. Then using of various things like since, for, although, in spite of, despite, as soon as, no sooner than, not only but also, all those things. So if you want, you can write since, for, although, in spite of, despite, not only but also, as soon as, neither nor, all these kind of small things that we learn. So now you tell me, do we need to study these things in a hurry? I feel is not needed. We will study, but not immediately. Why? You already have some idea about all this. Maybe you need to know a little bit more about simple, complex, compound and transformational sentence. But you need not worry. Why? You are getting only five questions. See, question number 3A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, only 5 questions. And out of 5 questions, how many questions you will get from this one? Simple, compound, and complex? Maximum 2. Sometimes only 1. So just for 1 mark or 2 marks, you need not struggle so much. Or the rest will be other things. Or the other 3 questions will be from this area: active voice, passive voice, direct, indirect writing, and different usages. So therefore, You have some idea already about these things. We will take it up, but little later. That is a question number 2A. So we have finished question number 2A, then we'll go to question number 2B. Page number 24, your textbook, page number 24. 3B. Fill in each blank with a suitable word. Do not write the sentence. So that's the question. What all items or what all grammar items you will have to learn? Mainly here it is only two things: prepositions and phrasal verbs. So this is question number 3B. Fill in the blanks with the suitable words. So here you have prepositions. And phrasal verbs. Here there is something called a double preposition also. So, question number 3, section B, fill in the blanks. The two things, two grammar points we will have to study are prepositions and phrasal verbs. What are prepositions? You know, you already studied parts of speech. But what you have studied is very little. Preposition is a very, very difficult one. Preposition is a difficult topic. And there is a lot of scope for making mistakes. Therefore, we need to study that. And there is something called double preposition. What is double preposition? Two prepositions used in the same sentence or with a different meaning. Different meaning. For example, inclined to. Inclined to. Inquire. There are different ones. We'll be taking two prepositions. The word, the noun, the word can, preposition is a word used before a noun or pronoun. So the noun can take two different prepositions, same noun, taking two different prepositions depending on the context. So that is a double preposition. Double preposition. I will be teaching you. Then you have phrasal verbs. What is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a combination of a preposition and a verb. Preposition and verb. We'll be learning it, no problem. For example, if you take a bring. Bring is a verb. Up is a preposition. Up is a preposition. You combine them together and say bring up. The meaning changes. So this is a verb, this is a preposition. Put together, you are making a phrasal verb. This is a phrasal verb called bring up. Bring up means to rear. To rear. Corona times, so many people lost their parents. So now one of the prominent questions the government is asking is, who will bring up the orphan children? So one of the greatest headache for the administration is, who will bring up the orphaned children? The child has lost father and mother. Who will bring him up or bring her up? That is to rear, make somebody to grow. So that is the meaning of bring up. So bring is verb, up is preposition. Combined, we are making a phrasal verb which has entirely a different meaning. bring up. This we'll have to study. Phrasal verbs. So this is an area we need to concentrate. You are rather unfamiliar with it. You must have studied a little bit in 9th and 10th, but not sufficient enough. So should we take it up? Yes, we should. We should take it up. Where is it found? It is found throughout. It is found throughout your units. You take page number 5, page number 5 in italics, page number 5 in italics. 5. Look at the content from unit 1 onwards. The third C. Point number C. Phrasal verbs. Unit 2. Phrasal verb. Phrasal verb. Phrasal verb. Phrasal verb. See, phrasal verb is so much important. All the units, they have distributed it. Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next page. 9. Phrasal verb. Up to unit 9, you have phrasal verbs. Starting from the first unit up to 9th unit, you have phrasal verb. They have distributed it. That shows it is so much important. And you need to study. So if you study prepositions and phrasal verbs, 3B is taken care of. That we will do it soon. Clear? Now we have next question. In the same section, C, appropriate form of verb. Question number 3, C, appropriate form of the verb. Take page number 24. Page number 24. Question number C. Question number C. Fill in the blanks in the passage given below with the appropriate form of the verb given in brackets. Do not write the passage, but write the verbs in the correct order. Write the verbs in the correct order. So this is about tenses. So what are the grammar points we have to study? Tenses and their uses. Tenses and their uses. Tenses and their uses. Agreement of subject. Agreement of subject. Agreement of subject verb. Subject and verb. And you'll have to study what you call verb forms. If you study these 3 things, then you can answer question number 3C. Tenses and their uses, agreement of subject and verb forms. So if you go to your content, Roman letter 5, if you go to content, you'll find Unit 3, agreement of subject and verb. Unit 4, tenses and their use. Unit 5, tenses and their use. Unit 7, sequence of tenses. Then you have, yeah, I think that much. That is enough. Okay. So these are the things we will be doing. Tenses and their uses, agreement of subject, verb forms. Verb forms means the 3 forms of the verb. Verb 1, verb 2, verb 3. That one. Okay. So this one should be take it so seriously. Should we take it so seriously? It is important, but you need not hurry because you have already done. In 9th class and in 10th class, you have done this section. You'll be given a passage with blanks, and the verb will be given in the bracket with the number 1, 2, 3. Then you'll write the right form. Good number of students get score well. Out of 5, many score 3, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5. There are very few students who score 5 out of 5. So this is we need not worry so much about it. So that is question number 3, section C. So let's not worry about the time. Since my next hour is mine, I will continue with it and complete it, because this is very important. Because if you do not understand in the proper sense, you will be struggling. You need a break. Just lift your hands, those who want a break. Oh, you'll stay on. Okay. Next hour also English only, no problem. Okay, we'll continue. I will complete one more question only. Question number 4 is left. After the question number 4 is over, I will give you a chance to ask your doubts, clarification, or you make a comment, everything. I will allow you. So we'll go to now we'll go to question number 4. Question number 4 is comprehension. Comprehension passage. Take page number 25. Total English, page number 25. You are given a passage. You have to read through the passage first, once or twice. Then first time, there are 2 ways of proceeding. One is, first you can read the question paper, question that is following. Question number 4, A, B, and C. After that, you can read the passage. Some people, what they do, they read the passage first, then they read through the questions. Afterwards, again they read. So you can choose the method which you like, it doesn't matter. What is important is passage should be thoroughly read before answering. Okay. Now question number 4, there is A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Question number A, there are 2 sections, 1 and 2. Question number B, there are 3 sections, A, B, and C. Question number C, there is only 1 section. Okay. First we will take up question number 4, A, 1 and 2. So question number 4, A, 1 and A2 is there. Now we'll take up, first we'll take up A1. Find out the word from the passage having similar meaning. Find out the word from the passage having similar meaning. Similar meaning. Similar means somewhat equal. It need not be exact. Somewhat equal. So last year, what was the question? What were you asked to do? You were given a few words. You had to write the meaning as given in the passage. Find out the meaning of the words given below as used in the passage. Depending on the context where it is used, you have to give the meaning. So if your vocabulary is very high, then it was very easy. Here there is a problem. You'll have to search and find out the word which is similar in meaning. It's which is tough. We need little training. That we'll have to do. 3 words are asked, 1 mark each, 3 marks. So, 2. Question number A2. The words are given, 3 words are given to you. You have to write a sentence. You have to write a sentence. Sentence of around 10 words. Using the given word. Not only they give you the word, they will tell you where the word is. You look at question number 26, page number 26. Question number A2. For each of the words given below, write a sentence of at least 10 words using the same word unchanged in form but with a different meaning from that which is it carries in the passage. So they will give you the word company. Where is it given? It's given in line 1. Turn to page back previous page, page number 1. First line, company is underlined also. So they will not only give you the line, they will also underline the word. So you have no difficulty in locating the word, but it is tough one because you must find out with what meaning it is used there, and you have to form a sentence using the same word without any change, but having a different meaning. Let's see, I will explain to you that one word. In the autumn of 1866, I was a soldier of the 18th Infantry. My company was stationed at Fort Kilkearney. My company was stationed at Fort Kilkearney. What is here is the meaning of my company? Something concerned about the military battalion. So here my company is my battalion. My battalion, the soldiers, the group of soldiers where he was a member. So here the company is, meaning of company is a battalion. So now you have to use it with a different meaning. They have given you an example. During the picnic at the weekend, I enjoyed Joe's company. Here, what is the meaning of company? Here, company is friendship. Here, the company is friends. Okay. I enjoyed the company. That means I enjoyed being with Joe. But another meaning of company, there are so many words are there like that. Same word having different meaning. There's another word called company is a firm, FIRM. FIRM, firm. The company where I am working, they are not paying me well. The company where I work do not pay me well because of the pandemic COVID-19. You can use it like that. With the same previous meaning, you can use parents ask the children to stay away from bad company. Parents ask students to stay away from bad company. They are using another word, another meaning. Same word, another meaning. So that is how. That needs a lot of training. That we will be doing. So there is one item, one grammar point called homophones. Grammar point called homophones. Take page number 6, Roman letter 6. Page number 6, Roman letter. Unit 10. Unit 10. You see the third grammar point, C, homophones. That you will have to study. If you study homophones, then it will be easy for you. Homophones. Homo means similar. Phones means sound. Similar sounds. Words of similar sound having different meaning. That is a homophones. We will be studying that. Homophones. So this section we need to study. These two grammar points we'll have to study. And the third one, second one, B. We'll go to question number 4B. Now we have completed question number 4A, 1 and 2. One is a word that has a similar meaning in the passage. Second one is using the word given without changing the word but with a different meaning. Now we'll go to 4B. 4B. In 4B, we have 3 questions. 1, 2, 3. These are short answer questions. Short answer questions to check your ability to understand the passage. Your ability to understand the passage. So in question number 4, they are testing your 3 abilities. So in question number 4, they are testing your abilities. Your ability of vocabulary. One is vocabulary. Second one is your ability to understand, comprehension. Understand. Another word is grasp. G-R-A-S-P, grasp. And third one, they are checking your ability to comprehend. Summarize. Let's put summarize. So they are checking your ability to grasp vocabulary, your ability to understand or grasp the passage, your ability to summarize. 3 things. First, your ability of vocabulary. How able are you in handling words? That's way to find out a word of similar meaning and to write a sentence without changing the word but having different meaning. Your ability to vocabulary. Second one is your ability to understand or grasp. They'll ask you 3 questions based on the passage. How much have you understood the passage? And third one is your ability to summarize. That is question number C. So B are short questions, short answer questions. They'll ask you questions based on the passage. You have to answer. How to answer that you will study. Then question number 4C. It could be, most of the time it is summary. Sometimes they ask you to give the meaning and different things. This will be studied. So this is it. So that is your 4 questions. English paper 1, total English. So these are the things you'll have to study. So as far as I understand, question number 1, you need not be so much worried. That is we are writing an essay. You're writing an essay. There you need not be so much worried. You are familiar. Question number 2, reporter writing, director writing, direct answers is given. Direct writing and proposal writing, you will have to study thoroughly, which you are not familiar with. You need to study seriously. Already we have finished proposal writing. Next we will take up direct writing. Next question number 3, grammar items. In grammar items I have seen, given you in detail. Item number 1 or grammar point 1, grammar point 2, grammar point 3. There are certain things we need to study, but you need not worry much because you are somewhat familiar with it. Then question number 4. Question number 4, A, B, and C. A, question number A, 1 and 2. Question number B, 1, 2, and 3. Question number C, only C. So C, we need not bother about so much because summary writing you are somewhat familiar. And question number 4, A and B. B also you are familiar. You know how to answer the questions. Only 4A, 1 and 2 you will have to study. So that's what I wanted to share with you.